Hi guys, welcome to Dev Studio Pro. Today we'll cover 5 ways to style React components, including Vanilla CSS, CSS Modules, Inline Styles, CSS in JavaScript, and UI libraries. So without further ado, let's just get started. Okay, number 1 on our list is Vanilla CSS. So this approach writes styles in CSS files and use class names to apply styles. So okay, let's just kickstart our coding. Alright. I'll have to create a component. So I'll have to create my files. So let's just kickstart our coding. First of all, I'm going to right click on source folder in order to create files on this folder. But before I do that, I love to create a folder called components. That is how I love to structure my code. This folder will create a file, a spreadsheet file called box.css. Alright, let's just right click on this component to create our component file, which is box.txl. Alright, let's just create our component. Alright, so if you are curious how I was able to create my component within seconds, go to the extension tab, search for ES7. So here is the extension that is doing the magic. So you can install it and enjoy code snippets with me. Thank you. Alright. Okay, after creating our component, the next step is to create a class, class name box. Then let's set the properties of this class. Background color should be light blue. Okay. Again, padding. Let's make it 20 pixel, right? Text align, make it center, right? And font size, let's set font size to 18 pixel. Alright, let's save our changes. Let's go to box. So first of all, you have to import this file. Alright, let's set class name to box, right? Okay. Alright, our component is ready and our box has been styled. So we have to import this style in main.ts. So I'm going to import it. I'm going to import our style here. Imports. We go to component folder to import ball.css. Alright. I've said we have imported it. Alright. Let's just go to app.ts and import our components. Box components. So let's just start our web server. Let's just run npm run dev. So this will start our web server at port 5173. Alright, you can see our program is working perfectly. Alright. Okay, let's just apply some classes to make it more beautiful. Alright, let's just set border radius to 10 pixel. display, to inline block. We will set the width to auto. Let's set our margin to 5 pixels. Alright, let's save our changes and go back to web server. Alright, so you can see our program is working perfectly. Alright. So hey guys, this is how to use Vanilla CSS to style our component. This approach is simple and widely understood, fully supported by all browsers, and also can be reused globally across components. But there's a problem about this Vanilla CSS. It has a problem of name conflict. For example, if I have another spreadsheet file, another CSS file that has the same class name, it will result to name clashes. So it's not going to work. Our program is not going to work as expected. One will override the another. And that leads us to the next one on our list, which is CSS module. The CSS module came to address the problem that Vanilla CSS is facing. It came to address the problem of name clashes. So this approach scopes CSS to individual components using model.css files. For example, let's create another file called box.model.css. You can see how I named this file box.model.css. Alright, let's just copy what we have in this CSS file. Let's just copy everything because of time and paste it here. Alright, let's just save our changes and go to our component. So for us to be able to use our CSS module in our component, we have to import it right here. So import size from box.model.css. So you can see how we import styles from box.model.css, the same way you import an object from JavaScript file. So these styles that we import here is going to be an object that has all the classes that we define in this spreadsheet file. So all those classes that we define in this spreadsheet file is going to be a property on this model. So for us to access this, we're going to use curly braces. So access styles dot box. Alright. Let's go to our web server to know if our program is working. Perfect, it's working. Great. Alright, number 3 on our list is inline styles. So this approach defines styles as a JavaScript object directly in JSX. Alright. I just clear this. We don't need it anymore. Don't need class here. Alright, so let's remove this import statement. Let's just define the object. Alright, let's just set the properties that we have defined in this model. Let's just set it back. For us to use it in our component, we have to access it using style. Access it here and update these. Let's save our changes. Go to our web server. Okay, I just noticed that I made a mistake here. This thing should be width. Then I have to set display here. I have to set display to inline block. Alright, let's save our changes and go to web server. Alright, so you can see our program is working perfectly. So this is how to use inline styles to style our React component. And as you can see, it's very easy to use, very quick. No need for separate CSS file. So we can declare all the properties here and still use it in this our JSS markup. But there's a problem with this approach. It has a problem of limited support for pseudo selectors or media queries. And the styles are not reusable. So we cannot reuse it in another component. So that's the problem and everything. So it's not reusable and it has limited support for pseudo selectors that you know in CSS. Alright, thank you. Let's go to the next one. So the next one on our list is CSS in JavaScript. So this approach, use JavaScript to define styles directly in component. So it eliminates the need for external CSS files. So before I can do that, I have to install some libraries. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's just install it. First of all, I have to stop our web server, or we can install it by opening another terminal. So let's just go ahead and install. We'll go ahead and install npm install style guide component. Alright, it has successfully installed. Let's install the type definition of this library, which is npm install add types. So a type is a repository that contain type definition of various JavaScript libraries. So we are going to download it in order not to run into an error. Alright. Alright, I see it's downloading. Alright. Before we'll be able to use the style component, we have to import it. Import style. You can see it here. Style from styled component. Alright. So let's just define a component using the style from styled component. Alright. Define box. Style.div style.div, then backtick, then So without wasting much of our time, I have to copy the style being defined in this module. Have to, for the style being defined in this spreadsheet, have to copy it and paste it here. I'm doing is copy and paste. So I have to change the color. The changes I want to change the color to coral. Alright, so let me save it. Alright, so I have to copy this and move it close to our JSX markup. I have to copy it. I have to copy it to be here. Let me paste it here. So yes, save it. I think there's a name conflict here. So this name is clashing with this our React component name. So I have to change it to style. Let's say to style box. Okay, let's just save it style box. So there is no name clashes again. For us to use this in our React component, we have to use it as a component here. So I have to change this div to style component. So to style box, say to style box. So that's it. Let's just clear all these things. We don't need it anymore. Let's just clear it. Just update these styles with how we see CSS in JavaScript. Alright, let's save changes. Let's go to our web server and run npm run dev. Alright, so as you can see, our program is working perfectly well. Style with CSS in JavaScript. As you can see, this approach is nice. It eliminates the need for external CSS files, but only requires you to install additional libraries. So if tomorrow want to delete this component, we can delete this, style box without any conflicting changes, any conflicting issues in our entire application. We can delete these files and everything will be deleted. All right, so that's it for CSS in JavaScript. The next one on our list is UI libraries. So these days there are a lot of popular UI libraries like Material-UI Tailwind CSS, Chaka UI, Redis UI, Daisy UI. But in this tutorial, we are going to use Tailwind because it uses the concept of utility classes. So if you want to upgrade your skills and expand job opportunity, Tailwind is what you must learn. So you should learn Tailwind and add it to your skill set. So let's get started. Alright, let's go to Tailwind web application to get started with Tailwind. Alright, so we can see the instruction for you to be able to use this Tailwind. You have to install it. Have to set the plugins. Alright, and also import Tailwind CSS. Alright, let's just get started with it. First of all, I have to copy this. Go to terminal and paste it. Let's just install it. Alright, as you can see, the installation is successful. Let's just go back to Tailwind web application. Let's just copy it. Just copy it. That is the next step. Just copy it. So you have to come down here to paste that. Alright, so let's paste it here. Alright, so what's the error message? cannot find name Tailwind CSS. All right, so I have to import it here. All right, the error has gone. Okay, so what's the next step? Okay, add an import to your CSS file that import Tailwind CSS. All right, so you have to copy this one, to copy it and go to index.css. all right, and paste it here. Here you can notice that I comment out all those predefined classes, that Vite automatically generated for us, so I don't need it. So I have to import this here, then save the changes, go to main.tsx, right, and import this index.css, all right, and save the changes. All right, so what's the next step? All right, I think that's all. That's okay. Let's just clear tabs. Okay, so like I told you before, Tailwind uses the concept of predefined utility classes, so we can style our component without leaving JXS markup. Can style it rapidly here without leaving the this place, right? All right, so but first of all, let's just remove this. We are no longer styling with CSS in JavaScript. Let's just remove this and change it to back to div. All right, so style with Tailwind, and we are styling with Tailwind, right? All right, so style with Tailwind CSS. All right, so let's proceed by styling our component. Set class name to big tail. That's 500. By the way, I experiment with this before recording this video to get the actual color. All right, so let's save changes to know if our program is working. Okay, let's set text to center. Let's set rounded. To large LG. Let's save our changes. Okay, it's working. Let's set margin to 4. And MX to auto. Let's save our changes. Okay, that's not what we want. That's not what we want. That's not what we want. Make this to auto, with auto, and set inline block. Let's save changes. Go to our web server. Wow, you can see our program is working perfectly, right? So that's how you can use Tailwind to style your React component. All right. So that is the last on our list. All right, guys. So this is what we learned so far from Vanilla CSS to Tailwind CSS. So I combined everything together in order for us to know our progress, what we have achieved in this lesson. So you can see it, everything is in this file. Let's go to our web application. You can see, whoa, that's beautiful. You can see what we learned, different approach, to style React application. So the choice is yours. Depending on your project, choose the one that best fits your project. And I would like to know, you can share it, in comment section, the one you love the most. Thank you.